The title of today's sermon, Salvation Has Come to This House. How many of us want salvation to come to our house? Luke chapter 19, verse 9 says, "And Jesus said to him, 'Today salvation has come to this house, because he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost.'" As you heard from the teens this morning, last week was Global Youth Day, and we went to Malvern Children's Home in Queensborough, and we sang some songs for the children, songs which required a lot of movement. I gave a small message, which was actually more nerve-wracking than standing behind this pulpit right now. A hall full of children is very intimidating. And afterwards, we spent some time with the children, getting acquainted with each other. And it was a true blessing to see and experience that. Our small, planned act of kindness, we hope, will lead the children to having a more personal and deeper relationship with their personal Savior, Jesus Christ. Let's turn to Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49. And we will be exploring an act of kindness which wasn't exactly planned. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49. And the verse says, "Sodom's sins were pride, gluttony, and laziness, while the poor and needy suffered outside her door." So I know what you're thinking. Where is the kindness in this verse? Well, just stay with me. Be patient. I promise you, you will understand. In the book of Genesis, chapter 18, we recall the story of Abraham sitting at the entrance of his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and noticed 3 men standing nearby. He saw them, he ran to these men, he met them, he welcomed them, and bowed low to the ground. So he saw them, he ran, he met them, he welcomed them, and bowed low to the ground during the hottest part of the day. I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to run during a very hot day. I find it very hard to be welcoming during a hot day. I find it very hard to bow low to the ground while it's 37 degrees outside. This is what the SDA commentary says about this profound moment. Abraham was not yet aware of their identity. He saw only 3 travel-weary strangers looking for rest and food. With true Oriental courtesy, he ran toward them to offer facilities of his home, bowing down before them in harmony with Eastern custom. This form of greeting in no way indicates that Abraham recognized Jehovah as one of the 3. So these 3 men were at first entirely unknown, and yet his greeting was as if a messenger had arrived in advance to announce their identity and intention in terms of paying him a visit. Through practicing unconventional hospitality, stepping out of his comfort zone and reflecting the character of Jesus, through entertaining strangers, he entertained the Savior. Salvation came into his home. And through that action on his part, his house received a beautiful promise of a son named Isaac. And not only that, he was able to intercede for salvation of another house, the house of Lot. Speaking about Lot, this is what Ellen White says. In the twilight, two strangers drew near to the city gate. They were apparently travelers coming into tarry for the night. None could discern in those humble wayfarers the mighty heralds of divine judgment. And little dreamed the gay, careless multitude in their treatment of these heavenly messages that very night they would reach the climax of the guilt which doomed their proud city. But there was one man who manifested kindly attention toward the strangers and invited them to his home. Lot did not know their true character. And I want to repeat that. I want to make that very clear. When the two angels arrived at Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot did not know who they were. But politeness and hospitality were habitual with him. Listen carefully. They were part of his religion. Lessons that he learned from the example set by Abraham. Had he not cultivated the spirit of courtesy, he might have been left to perish with the rest of Sodom. Kindness saved his life. Hospitality, courtesy, politeness saved his life and the lives of his daughters. The lack of kindness and courtesy exercised by the inhabitants of Sodom caused Sodom to perish. Let's take a moment to think about that. In reflecting the character of Jesus Christ, lives were saved. Someone might be contemplating suicide, but your kindness might give them the hope and courage to choose to live for another day. Someone might be spiritually lost, but your kindness could shine a light on a path which they could walk on, which could lead them to Jesus Christ. Kindness can save a life. I remember there was this one morning when we were handing out pamphlets for the personality seminar. And you know, people in the morning, they're rushing to work, so they seldomly have time to take notes of you handing them a pamphlet. But while I was doing that, I had a smile on my face. And to my surprise, there were people that were driving past me and shouting, "Thank you for your smile." Now, I don't know what my smile meant to them, but my God in heaven knows what my smile did for them for that day. Through the example of Abraham, Lot learned how to be kind. So I'm going to ask you a question today. What example are you setting for the people that are close to you? What lessons are people learning from you through your behavior? Are you being polite to strangers, just as Abraham and Lot were? There's a verse in the Bible, and I don't know where exactly it is, but it says, and I'm paraphrasing, it says, when you entertain strangers, there's a possibility that you might be entertaining angels as well. Church, I'm inviting you this morning. Be kind. Be polite. Be courteous. Be hospitable, because you don't really know the impression or the consequences of your action. With just a smile, you might be making someone's day. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me. Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Do not underestimate the power of unconventional hospitality. Through your kindness, you might inspire someone to open the door for Jesus Christ to come in and dine with him.